What are you doing?
I'm gonna break off, this is spiky, no wonder. I'm gonna break off 1 or 2 pieces so we can take to Tamara when, oh crap, I'm gonna get the actual scissors.
Oh, flowers have seen better days. What happened there? Oh no.
So I'm going to cut like 1 or 2 pieces of this dragon fruit because we're going to Tamara's on Sunday, and I want this to color over until tomorrow so I can plant it in the pot and take it to her. See, this one is like really long as well. See all of these things? See all of these things? Those are all roots that if you plant them that they're gonna take up. But if you plant it right away, the cactus, because this is exposed, it doesn't have the skin, they call it calisova, it can get like a fungus infection. So so I'm just gonna leave it, cut them now before the party, and I'm gonna leave it here until tomorrow, and then plant them in the pot tomorrow so we can take them to her on Sunday. I don't know how to eat on camera. My goodness, guys, I really apologize for the state of me today, but we did have a long night yesterday, long night at the party. So I left these overnight, and today during the day, these pieces of dragon fruit to dry up just where I cut them, and now I'm going to add some soil to it and be ready for tomorrow when I go to my sister's house so I can take them to her.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads
A couple of months ago, I knitted a pair of socks using Camijo yarn sock set, and it came with one full skein of sock yarn and 2 skeins of minis. So one of the minis was so the full skein was this colorway, and the one of the minis was this orange, and the other mini was, I divided it in half already, are these. Now Camila gave me this yarn when we met up in Barcelona a couple of years ago, and this was her, I think that year she was doing birds, Norwegian birds, because every year she has a theme for her sock yarns. And that year it was the birds, I think the birds of, not Norwegian, birds of Denmark. So she gave me, I don't remember which of the birds this was, and I don't think that you would be able to find this yarn again, but she does always have some very beautiful colorways. So I have made this pair of socks, and now because I have this ball which is left over of the main skein, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide it in half. I'm going to measure it on the little scale, and I'm going to divide it in half, and so I don't have to measure kind of like the length of the sock or measure the weight of the gram as I'm knitting. So I can just kind of knit until I finish the whole half of whatever I have, and make another pair of socks. So I'm probably going to use these minis to make the cuffs and the toes and the heels. However, from the first mini, I still do have this left over, which means that I would probably have left over from these as well. I don't think it matters. I think they go very nicely together. I'm not gonna have anything left over from this because I plan to use all of that up. So I don't know, maybe do I do cuffs in the orange and then toes and heels in this, and then I just have more of these left over for some other project? I don't know, I'll see. But either way, the goal is to divide this in half so I can use it and not have to weigh or measure the yarn, you know, if I'm gonna have enough for the second sock. So I can just knit all the way until I finish one of the balls, and I know that I'm gonna have the second sock, which will be the same length.
And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has a clearer light as any, to see the horizon and the far. Excuses were two for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this.
Guys, there is one jumper that I've been knitting for about a year, and I showed it to you in the very beginning when I started knitting it, because it was just an experiment that I didn't know where I was going with it, and I didn't show it to you afterwards. But I did finish it, and I finished it actually sometime last month, and I just didn't have a chance to show it to you. Now, the jumper came out really nice. I had some sort of idea how it's going to come out because I already made a jumper similar construction, but in a thicker yarn. I have a video about the jumper and how I made the construction. That was a couple of years ago. So I'm going to link that video in the description of that other jumper that I made. So when I started working with this one, I wanted to make something similar, but in a much thinner yarn. So I started working, didn't know how many stitches I'm going to need, didn't know, everything was really, you know, let's just see how it comes out. And it was a pleasure in the beginning. However, because the needles were so small, most of the jumper was done on 2.5 and 3 millimeter needles, but 2.5, a lot of it, and quite thin yarn. It ended up being like a year-long project. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if I'm ever gonna knit this again. Let me just show you what I got. So this is the jumper. If you can see, it's very, very wide. You're probably not going to be able to see it like this best, so I'm going to try it on for you. But first I want to show you like this. It has like bat wing sleeves. However, they don't actually go like this, the sleeves. The sleeves are straight, but when I put it on, it kind of reminds me of that kind of jumper. But what I want to show you now is first the yarn that I was using. I was using alpaca. That's why I had the glasses on in the beginning, I realized, because I had them on and then I thought, like, why do I have my glasses on when I'm talking? But it's because of this. So I was using alpaca 1 from Isair, and I got this in when we went a couple of years ago for a cruise in Norway. I bought this yarn. I got it in this color and in kind of like pale duck egg blue, which I still didn't work with. This is a lace weight yarn, I think 800 meters per 100 grams. So this each ball is 50 grams, 400 meters, and it's 100% alpaca. This colorway is called Forest, and this is beautiful, beautiful color. So I held this yarn with 2 cobweb yarns. The first one is black that I have on cones, and the other one is this kind of green khaki color. This is, I believe, Loro Piana. I think this is Loro Piana yarn, and this one I think is Zegna Barufa. So I held these 3 together, and what I got is a very nice subtle marl. That's the fabric that I got, and it's a beautiful fabric, very drapey. So the fabric is lovely and the jumper is lovely, but the amount of time and that it took me, when I finished it, I showed it to my mom and I said, "Mom, I'm never doing this again. I'm never knitting this again." Now, famous last words, because whenever I say something like that, like whenever I make a statement about anything, not just about knitting, you know, famous last words, that never happens. I probably end up doing it. But as far as I feel now, this one in my wardrobe is enough. We'll see how it goes. And for you best to see it, I'm going to actually switch this off and I'm going to try it on for you, but it's very hot. I couldn't sit in it. I couldn't sit in it here while I show you everything about it. So I'm going to switch this off and show you how it fits, and then I'll be back. Okay, so this is going to be quick so I don't boil. I just wanted to show you how it looks on me. Well, it's certainly, I like the way that it looks. The construction is basically increases in 2 points at the shoulders, one here and one here, and increasing every round. And that went on for about 30 centimeters. And in that case, when I finished about 30 centimeters, then I split for this section where I would do the sleeve, and I was knitting back and forth. However, because it's so wide and it was on 2.5 or 3 millimeter needles with such a thin yarn, it took ages to do those rows because they were knit and purl. So there was this section about, I don't remember exactly how many centimeters, but for the sleeve, which kind of was at the elbow, back and forth at the front, back and forth at the back, one knit, one purl, and then I joined in the round and I knitted the bottom part. And then later on I picked up for the sleeves and I just knitted straight sleeves. This part here, I think I picked up a bit less stitches than the actual opening is, because I didn't follow a pattern. I was just working, you know, as I go along. But even though it looks a bit like bunched up here, I don't mind, because I like it when I kind of roll the sleeves. I like this look that it gives me. So the jumper is really, really nice. But it was just, I don't know, it took so long to do. So maybe when I do it again, if I do it again, that will be done in a larger size needle, but it has to be in a loose gauge, I believe. I think in order for to have this kind of drape, this kind of flow, that it needs to be done at a looser gauge. So I hope you appreciate me boiling in 35 degrees heat wearing alpaca and merino. But yeah, I wanted to show you how it looks. So yeah, I hope you like the jumper. I really do. I think it looks very elegant. And now the problem is that if I lift my arms, it raises all the way up, because the bottom part underneath the arm is quite shallow. It's there is not that much fabric underneath, because the drop sleeves, they come up to my elbow. So when I do this, so it's only quite a small part at the bottom. So you know, that's something that I'm going to have to, I guess, be careful when I wear it, because when I lift my arms, it raises. But it does give this very nice, elegant feel and look to it. Anyway, this is it. This is the one. You're probably going to see me wear it when the weather cools down. You see what I'm talking about the length underneath the sleeve, how the top part, the actual yoke, is really much longer than the actual part underneath the sleeve. So you're probably going to see me wearing it when the weather cools down. But for now, anyway, it's going to get packed, and I'm going to admire my work that it took me a year to complete. Look, maybe it's not a bad idea to kind of have a project that, like on very small needles, something that I'm not in a hurry to do, that I know that I'm going to like and that I'm going to wear. The problem is that I started this not knowing how it's going to come out. And then I thought to myself, like halfway through, I was like, Ivana, you're really dumb. I said, you're experimenting with something on such small needles. You're experimenting with the construction and with the numbers on such small needles. But thankfully, it turned out okay. I would like to have some thin jumpers like that, hand-knitted ones. And I might do that, but I think I'm going to do the construction that I know, a raglan construction, and have maybe one on the needles like that, that obviously I'm not in a hurry. I can just pick up whenever, and have a few of those jumpers in my wardrobe. But those, you know, they're definitely not like a product knit that, I mean, well, it is, but I am not going to be in a hurry to finish them. So maybe hold like 2 or 3 strands of just cobweb yarn on 2.25 millimeter needles. I think a turtleneck would look very nice in that, because I have some store-bought ones that are thin like that, and I do end up wearing them a lot. So that's as far as this jumper is concerned. What else I've been working on? Ever since I finished this, I've been working on that brioche wrap with the turquoise that I showed you in the last episode. But ever since I finished this wrap that I showed you, now I just got a comment on another video, but I think it's about this, and lady asked me how many stitches did I cast on for the striped blanket. This is not a blanket there. It's not, the width is not good for a blanket. The width is about 50 centimeters, but I did cast on 108 stitches on 3.25 millimeter needles. So since I finished that, and I explained to you in the last video when I said till the last drop of yarn that I wanted to use up all the handspun yarn that I had in this color, I decided to do the same with another yarn that I have. And another yarn that I have that is not handspun, it's this yarn that I tried knitting socks with, and I did finish them. And I had 2 balls of this yarn. I don't know how many meters it has. It's kind of like self-striping, and the socks came out like watercolor because I held it with a strand of mohair. But it was very difficult for me to pick up the stitches for the afterthought heel because everything was so marled, but so softly marled, that it was difficult for me to pick up the stitches. And I finished those socks, but I'm not gonna do socks in those anymore. Let me show you the yarn first. It has all these shades, and I was holding it with a strand of very thin mohair, much thinner than like half the thickness of the mohairs that we normally use. And when I did those socks, then I wanted to experiment holding the same combination, this yarn with that mohair, and to make a hot water bottle cover. I think those are very nice presents for Christmas, and even though I don't have in mind who I'm going to give them to, but I think that's a very nice idea to have some like in stock, some in storage, that if you're invited to somebody's house, like to make a hamper with a bottle of wine and a hot water bottle with the cover. So I wanted to experiment with that. I didn't have a pattern. I made one on a small bottle. And it came out so nice. It's like a bottle is wearing a jumper on its own. So it came out really nice. It's a small one. However, I think that for the next one, I'm going to make this turtleneck basically a bit longer, because if I have to stretch it a bit in order to cover the whole neck. Now maybe that's actually smart. So when they put water in. Or if I keep this one for myself, I don't know. So when the water goes in, it doesn't wet the actual cover. But maybe I'm going to do it a bit longer. Now, again, I didn't use any pattern for it. I just did ribbing one by one for however long. I have to now for the next one that I'm making. I have to see how long it is. Then I increased on every row, just like my jumper, for a bit. I was looking at the actual hot water bottle, and I was measuring, and then I think for a few rows I increased on every other round, then knit it straight and just kind of finished it like I would do basically a very large sock toe. And I really like how the yarn, how the repeats on this size came out. So then I started, in order to use up this ball of yarn, I started this like this garter wrap. I started another garter wrap using this yarn with that mohair. And I know that I'm not going to have enough yarn for a whole wrap. Again, the same 108 stitches. And this was something that I had wound in from the last ball, so I finished that one. And then I started introducing, let me turn it from this side. Then I started introducing this pale gray, which is the same thickness, and this is the blend of cashmere, angora, viscose. I'm not sure, I have a few balls of this, but again, not enough for a full garment. So I started doing that, but now what happened is that even though it looks nice, this yarn, the stripy one, it's actually nice, it's not rough. However, when I introduce this extremely soft yarn, the contrast of it, this one feels quite rough next to this one. So now I don't know what to do. So then I decided, okay, let me make another hot water bottle cover with this yarn, which I just started. I started doing the ribbing for the bottleneck. Use up as much as I'm going to use up of this yarn, and then continue with this garter wrap, and then maybe have it mostly in this gray color, and then just here and there have sections of this striped yarn, so I can use it up and finish it however many I need. And if I run out of the gray yarn, It will be the same thickness as the one that I like, Drop Snort, and I have that in light gray as well. And I think maybe a bit of navy blue of Drop Snort would go well in, would fit match, or this brownish color. So I'm not afraid if I'm going to have enough yarn to finish this wrap. It's just what was bothering me is that when I introduced this very, very soft one, this one in comparison felt too harsh. So those are the plans. That's what I'm playing with, and it's really playing. I'm painting with yarn. Another lady, she wrote in one of the comments, she goes, that feels more like painting with yarn, and it does. The same like with this brioche wrap that I'm making. But at the moment, this is bringing me joy. It's bringing me joy to use the little bits and pieces of what I have and to make combinations, to create something that is completely unexpected, but to stretch my mind a bit and use creativity to make nice products at the end, objects. So thank you for watching. I hope you're well, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.